of the Wood Memorial, one of the last important prep races for the Kentucky Derby of this year, 1983. I'm Jim McKay, reporting from Aqueduct, and one of those divisions has already been run. Now remember, it's just 2 weeks before the Kentucky Derby, which ABC Sports will be covering exclusively, and here is the way they finished in the first division of the Wood. That's Bounding Basque, number 4, and on the outside, nearer you, number 8, Country Pine, pounding for the finish line in a really exciting finish. Bounding Basque was the winner. It appeared that he might have borne out in the stretch. There was an objection, but the objection was not allowed. The jockey, Greg McCarran, and the owner, Jacque Wimpeimer. That was the first division, and you now must add the name of Bounding Basque to the pre-race favorites for the Derby. That's getting to be quite a long list. Let's bring in our expert on the sport, a man who not only won 5 Derbies and 3 Preaknesses in the Belmont, but also the Wood Memorial back in 63, was it, with Quadrangle?
62, right.
What did you think of that first division?
Well, I thought it was a good, exciting race on the part of the winner. Greg McCarran had already told me the horse had some bad habits. He was kind of a green horse. He has a lot to learn. He was attempting to bear out. I thought Greg did a good job. He had him under control. Of course, there was a foul claimed in the race.
Was there a foul, in your opinion?
Well, not looking after you look at the pictures. There's always, you never really know whenever you don't see the movies. But the fact that they had him under control and there was no definite contact, they let the number stand, and I think rightfully so.
The time was slow. Is Bounding Basque a possible Kentucky Derby winner?
Well, if he improves like Greg thinks he can improve, he says he's got a lot of ability and he's got a lot to learn.
Who do you like in the second division?
Well, the second division, I've looked it over. Of course, the odds reflect the 3 favorites. They look like the 3 horses to beat, but I kind of like the bottom horse. I like Parfaitement. I like him for a couple of reasons. He's a winning horse. He's only been beaten once in his life, and he's run here on the track. He won going a mile, and he beat older horses. And the older horse that he beat is a decent type of an animal. I like him for those reasons.
Parfaitement is the one that Bill Hartack likes. Let's set the field now for you for the second division of the Wood Memorial. The odds right now, Slew O Gold at 7-5 is the favorite, a son of Seattle Slew, who won this race in the Triple Crown. Legendary Wealth at 25-1. Northern Ice at 12-1. Right Off at 40-1. Chas Conerly at 5-2 is the current second favorite in the race. High Honors from Dan Galbraith's stable. Mr. Galbraith had the second horse, Country Pine, in the first division. Now he goes again with High Honors. Parfaitement at 3-1 is the third choice in the betting. Now, that is the field. Here is a look at Slew O Gold, ridden by Eddie Maple from the Equity stable, trained by Sid Waters, son of Seattle Slew, as we said.
Well, he won his first 2 career starts. He got a big reputation. Then he never came back and really did anything until his last race. He had a good tune-up for this race. He won by 7.5 lengths. They think he's on his toes right for this race.
Now a look at number 8. This is the horse that you like, Bill. Parfaitement, trained by Billy Boniface and ridden by Herb McCauley.
Like I said before, I think he's got a lot of pluses in his favor. He's got speed. He'll be out of trouble. He doesn't have to be on the lead. And plus the fact that he's beaten older horses, he's had a race over the racetrack, he looks like, to me, the horse to beat.
Let's take a look now at Dan Galbraith's High Honors, number 7, ridden by Jorge Velasquez.
Well, I'm not trying to knock High Honors, but the only time he ever ran in a big race, he failed. He failed badly. He may have had a little trouble in the race. They say he got squeezed at the start. But he still has to prove himself in state competition, and I imagine that's what the owners are looking forward to.
Now we're going to look at Chas Conerly, number 6, ridden by jockey Jeffrey Fell.
Well, you know, we went out and we looked at him one morning, and I'll tell you what, I think he's coming up to the race in very, very good shape. He was very alert. He impressed me. I would make him my second choice.
He is named after the New York Giant quarterback in the 1950s, Charlie Conerly, and he's owned by the man who owns B.J. Clark's, a prominent watering hole in Manhattan. You've been there.
Yes, I have, many times.
There they are, approaching the starting gate. We're going to take a look now at number 5, Right Off, ridden by Jerry Bailey, who rode Country Pine in the first race.
Well, you know, the rest of the field here, they're looking, the owner, I imagine, and the trainers are looking for a good effort out of their horse. I don't think they possibly can say they have a great chance, but they're hoping their horse runs a good race and perhaps surprises them and gives them a chance at a big race in the future.
Right Off, a son of the great Wajima. Here is a horse that is not nominated for the Kentucky Derby, number 4, Northern Ice. Here is Northern Ice, ridden by Brian Phan.
Well, you know, Northern Ice beat Sloopy in his last race. Of course, that's no criterion, but I imagine they're in here just to see what he can do in this particular race.
Again, he is not nominated for the Kentucky Derby, despite his earnings of $102,000. Remember, to a lot of these horses, it's important to earn enough money to qualify for the Derby because the money thing may come into the picture. Legendary Wealth at 25-1, ridden by Jimmy Miranda.
Well, you know, he's only just broken his maiden. He broke his maiden in his last start, and that was on the turf. He may be a useful horse later on, but I just can't see him be seasoned enough to beat these.
Well, he's owned by Buckland Farm and trained by Johnny Campo, and of course they were the combination that took Pleasant Colony from winning this race to winning the Kentucky Derby. So maybe they're hoping for it to happen again. How do you see this race developing?
Well, there's a bit of speed in the race. There's a couple of horses in here could show speed. Maybe they won't show speed. But I look for the outside horse and Chas Conerly to show the speed. And
the outside horse being Parfaitement.
That's right. And of course, Slew O Gold wouldn't be too far off of him.
There is Right Off. They're having a little problem getting him in there. Lenny Hale, by the way, the racing secretary here at Aqueduct, is the starter today because they're having a strike at this racetrack, and the regular personnel, or most of them, are not on hand. There's number 7, High Honors, going in. George Velasquez. Number 8, Parfaitement, which means perfectly in French. We'll see about that today. Now, up high to Marshall Cassidy.
Jim, the final horse is in, and they're all in line for this, the second division. And they're off. Parfaitement, Chas Conerly, right off, puts a neck in front. Northern Ice on the inside is second, Parfaitement on the outside in third, then Legendary Wealth, Chas Conerly, High Honors, and Slew O Gold. The favorite is 7th. They round the clubhouse turn. Right Off has the lead now by a length on the outside, Parfaitement in second by a half. Legendary Wealth on the rail is third by a length and a half. Northern Ice in fourth by a length, then Chas Conerly, Slew O Gold, and then it's High Honors back into 7th. The first quarter in 24 flat. They're on to the backstretch. Right Off leads the way by a length. Parfaitement on the outside, second by a half. Legendary Wealth is third by a neck. Northern Ice now moving up. Northern Ice now takes third. Then it's Chas Conerly, Legendary Wealth, Slew O Gold, and High Honors. They're beginning to bunch down the backstretch. The half in 48-1. It is an even pace. Parfaitement now takes the lead by a neck. Right Off, Northern Ice heads apart second and third. High Honors on the outside in fourth. Slew O Gold in fifth. Then Chas Conerly and Legendary Wealth is back into 7th. They're into the par turn. Parfaitement on the inside. Northern Ice on the outside. Those two are heads apart for the lead. And now Slew O Gold gains ground on the rail. Slew O Gold moving up on the leading 2. And now 3 horses across the track. 3/4 and 12-1. They're at the top of the stretch. Slew O Gold on the inside. On the outside is Parfaitement. They are now heads apart, and they will fight it out to the wire. Right behind them is High Honors in third. Slew O Gold now puts the nose in front. Parfaitement on the outside, second by 3. High Honors is third. Slew O Gold on the rail has the lead by a neck. Parfaitement second. High Honors closing. Slew O Gold in front. It's Eddie Maple on Slew O Gold, the winner by a neck. Then I believe Parfaitement was second, High Honors third. Another outstanding finish in the second division of the Wood Memorial. Back to you, Jim McKay.
Well, there is the unofficial winner of the second division. What 2 exciting races we've seen here this afternoon. Slew O Gold, ridden by Eddie Maple, a son of the great Seattle Slew. And what progeny he is turning out in the first crop as a sire. He had Landalucci, the ill-starred filly who died last fall after showing signs of true greatness even as a 2-year-old. Sloopy ran in the first division of this race. Now we have Slew O Gold winning the second division, and Seattle Slew is sure looking like a coming sire. Let's have another look at the stretch run. Remember, unofficially, Parfaitement was second. There is Parfaitement on the outside. On the inside, Slew O Gold, and closing fast, High Honors. As a son of Graustark, he would be a late closer.
Yes, it was a good run through the stretch. Slew O Gold was fortunate to get room on the rail turn for home, but Parfaitement and him ran head-and-head through the stretch. There was no excuse for either one of them. They both ran good, and of course, Slew O Gold ended up being the winner. Unofficially, of course.
Still unofficial. The winner, the son of Seattle Slew, the second place horse, Parfaitement, a son of Halo, a very good sire at Winfield Farms down on the eastern shore of Maryland. And closing, number 7 is High Honors. So we're standing by, no sign of an inquiry or an objection, but it is still unofficial, so stay with us. We're live from Aqueduct. The live scene here at Aqueduct, still the unofficial winner of the second division of the Wood Memorial is Slew O Gold, ridden by Eddie Maple, trained by Sid Waters Jr., owned by the Equity Stable. The people who were involved with Seattle Slew are also involved in the ownership of this. Let's have a look now at an isolated replay of Slew O Gold as he ran this race all the way around. He was on the inside.
All right, he's number 2. Breaks out of the gate. As they go into the turn, he's got him back in, I guess he was last or next to the last position as they go into the first turn. And he just bides his time on this horse. He got a good break after they got about the half-mile pole, but we're looking at him now. He's back in behind, he's about 4th or 5th position. Eddie's just sitting there coasting on him. He rode a good race on this horse. He saved ground around the first turn. He didn't use his horse up.
Moving outside him, number 6 was Chas Conerly there.
Yeah, Chas Conerly didn't show the speed that he showed in prior races, and he ran a bad race. Of course, those things happen in horse racing.
Now look, just behind number 2 is number 7. That is High Honors, who would finish 3rd in the race eventually.
That's right. He ended up running a good race. He closed ground through the stretch and might have been picking them all up at the finish. As they turn down the backside, you see they're still back in the pack. High Honors is going to make his move on the outside of horses. Eddie Maple there second, right, coming up on the outside of number 3, is still saving plenty of ground. He's only gone around one horse so far. He's kind of looking to make a move in between horses, and he gets some room around the turn.
Parfaitement was leading the race up front at this point, number 2. Northern Ice dropping back a bit.
Well, it was a challenge on the front end. He was hooked all the way on the front end. He goes around, he's laying second out off the rail right now, the 8 horse, and the 2 horses going to run up on the inside of him. That's Slew of Gold. Eddie made a good move here, I believe. High Honors seemed to drop back number 7 a bit at this point. Well, you know, when horses accelerate in the race, he might have not picked it up at the right time. He's still a green horse. He has a lot of improvement left in him.
What a thrilling moment this was, coming down the stretch. Parfaitement on the outside, number 8, Slew O Gold on the inside.
Like I said, the slick move by Eddie, Eddie Maple. He got room on the rail. He challenged Parfaitement from the inside, and Parfaitement didn't give up. It was just one heck of a race to the finish line, with the High Honors, the 7 horse, slowly gaining on him at the finish.
And that was the way they finished. And look at High Honors closing at the end with another 1/8 of a mile. Who knows? It is now official. Slew O Gold, the winner of the second division of the Wood, $460, $3 and $260. Parfaitement was second, a Pennsylvania bred, by the way. No Pennsylvania breds ever won the Derby. $380 and $3. Number 7, High Honors, paid $340. Number 4, Northern Ice, held on to 4th place. The time of the race, 1:51. The time of neither division was very impressive, but the times have been generally slow today. Well, here we are, and here's Bill Hartek, and here's Eddie Maple. Congratulations. They had a beautiful ride. Would you tell us the story of the race? In fact, why don't we just take another look at it? Move in here, and you'll be able to see it very graphically. And you describe the race for us this time. Eddie Maple, the jockey of Slew O Gold, just getting ready for the start, and here they come. Followed by Parfaitement, High Honors, Northern Ice, Chas Conerly, Right Off, and Legendary Wealth. That's the way they finished second division of the Wood Memorial. A little over $100,000 for the winner of each of those divisions. 2 weeks from today, the Kentucky Derby. Bill, I don't know, we just keep adding names to the list of favorites. Nobody gets subtracted. What do you think?
I'll tell you, with 2 races like this, with coming down to a close finish between, I'd say you got 5 horses at least out of this lot. I don't think the Derby picture's changed. They're all going to go into the Derby hoping that they put their best effort in that particular race.
Well, a week from today, we're going to be showing you live the Derby trial from Churchill Downs itself, and we're going to have Chumming in there and Paxton Bellow and more favorites popping up.
In a way, I think that's very interesting. You're getting a lot of horses. You're getting everybody to take their pick on who they like, and there's a lot of opportunities.
Well, that's the way it turned out on a chilly and brisk and windy afternoon at Aqueduct. Here again, the finish of the second division, the Wood Memorial. Slew O Gold, the winner, Parfaitement second. In a minute, you'll see more of the great American bike race. So long.